Okay, I am going to approach this in a multifaceted way. This video I am going to just do an overview of the boxed set that is coming out by James Eads, as well as a unboxing video, which I'm actually going to cut to next in a second, and just show you my initial reaction to opening the box set up. This is, as I probably say in that one, this is a boxed set of the entire collection that is coming to Kickstarter from James Eads. These can be purchased individually, all of these things. This is a book, and then 3 of the decks can all be purchased individually, or they can be purchased as a box set through the Kickstarter, and then obviously after the Kickstarter as well. This has been sent to me for the purposes of review. As I always say with James Eads things, I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan. I like the way that he thinks. I like the way that he is thinking outside of the box. I have both purchased his things and been sent. I've also been sent a free deck and then still went and purchased it, so I had another copy of it. So I have spent a lot of money on James Eads decks, as well as had the wonderful opportunity to be able to have a first look at them, to share them before or as the Kickstarter is coming out. So as of the day of this video, the Kickstarter will be live, and there will be links in the description box so that you can go straight over there. But again, for this video in particular, I'm going to do a walkthrough of these individually, but I am going to just sort of look at them as a whole and what they are doing together. So I'm gonna go to Early Morning Me, in which I was super excited to open up this box. It was like Christmas in September, or an early birthday present for me, to open these up, because I was really stoked about these, because again, I have everything that he has put out in terms of decks, and so I'm just really stoked about this. So if you don't want to watch a stoked unboxing, skip ahead. I'll try to remember to put a link to where I actually can kind of look over this as a whole. I'm just going to put this here before I start the official video because I am not ready to do the official video, but I just got these in the mail, and it's like I'm like a kid in the candy store. I say this in front of all of any walkthrough I do of James Eads' works, that I'm a huge fan. I love his all of his things. I use all of his things. And so, you know, you try to be biased, obviously, or have some bias about doing reviews of certain decks, especially if a deck is being sent to you for review. But James Eads is one of those people that I just love his work. And I have been sent decks from him by review, but I've also bought his decks. And for example, his Cosmovisions, which I was sent to for review and have used consistently. I love that deck. It's one of my most used decks. I use his Prismavisions deck all the time, but then I turned around and bought, you know, a whole bunch of stuff for this Kickstarter. So while I have been given decks for reviews, I turn around and this is somebody that I spend money on, is what I'm trying to say. And so but I love what he does, and I think that that's the thing. And this particular set that I'm talking about excites me because, you know, there's a lot of amazing tarot decks out there, and I don't want in any way to mute the work that it takes to create a tarot deck, the artistic dedication that it takes to create a tarot deck. But there's a lot of tarot decks out there, and so I always, where I get the most excited as a deck collector, as a card reader, as you know, just a person who enjoys herself in this field, Where I get excited is when somebody is doing something different. You know, there's something that comes out that's just like, okay, wow. And so I just think with James Eads of his Portals Oracle deck, that's a playing card game, but also it's a reading deck, which is absolutely phenomenal. Or like putting out the geomancy coins that he did, or his Cosmovisions, which is geared towards past life, and we don't have very many things like that. So when somebody does something where you can just see that their mind is actively engaged on so many fronts, that's the kind of stuff that really excites me. And I feel like this that we're going to take a peek at has that same sort of thing that we come to expect. I don't know what this is. This was in the package. So I'm excited. Like for me, this is like, oh, wow. This is like, it's like a scroll. This is like Christmas morning for me. So I'm just trying to say, if you don't like those kind of reviews, this might not be the review for you, because I am definitely stoked. It's also early in the morning, and I have to go teach a Lenormand class, but I wanted to quickly just check this out. Okay, let's see, they've got a little key. Do I want to untie this, or do I want to just slide it off? Okay. I mean, I think I'll slide it off. I really have they do send you like a press kit, which we'll talk about all the specifics and stuff in a minute. This is just the, me opening. Oh, it's like a scroll of, I think this is, yes, okay. This is the information. They did send this through PDF, but they sent one all scrolled up. So this is really cool. We'll come back on the cool presentation. Yeah, so this is giving all the information about the collection. And so I will, we'll come back to that when we come to do the official review. And this is just going to get tacked on with that. I just wanted to open it up, and I thought, oh, I'm going to film this too. So the first thing I thought when I opened this is it was much bigger than I thought it was going to be, because in my head I knew that this was a set of oh, it's just beautiful. And that's the other thing, like there's sometimes certain creators whose decks are presentation wise, they're just spot on, or they're just something extra special. I have all my James Eads stuff on a shelf that I can see, because there's just, the presentation is also just spot on, and that's how I feel about this in particular. Like this is amazing for those of us who do like that sort of bookshelf appeal, especially this one. Okay. So, well, let's just briefly say, again, I will go over the details. This is just the fangirling part. The Green Glyphs collection set of 4 divination decks and hardcover glossary created by James Eads. So, if you have the Green Glyphs Lenormand, you'll kind of recognize this style here. So, well, one of these is a book. Oh, it's like a guidebook. Okay. I'm not sure the best way to do this, so let's just get this out. Oh my goodness. I should have my glasses on. I have my glasses on. I don't want to... There we go. So this is the guidebook for the whole collection. We have the one big guidebook that goes for the Cosmovisions and the Prismavisions. And so this is the guide. Oh, it's just gorgeous. Look at that. A note from James Eads. I grew up in Los Angeles and was raised on art. I began drawing at a young age and collected various objects, boxes, and small treasures. When I got older, I studied art and learned how to speak my voice in pictures, and then later through words. Let me open this. It's really dark in here. There we go. I know oh, that's too bright. Okay. Well, you know what? I can turn it down in the post-production. This is just me. I'm going to redo this so I guess I shouldn't even read all this. In 2013, I created Light Visions. In 2015, I became infatuated with the idea of past lives, and her spirituality slowly started to unfold. In 2019, I created the first green Glyphs deck, a Lenormand deck, that would inspire the rest of this series of decks. And then in 2020, I released the Cosmovision Oracles and the Geomantic Visions. It was my biggest deviation from traditional systems of tarot and Lenormand, and the overnight success of this deck taught me that we can make our own world into what we want it to be, something better for the collective as a whole, yes. So then he goes and talks about some, I'll read that more when we're going to do the actual, and again, I'll always remember, like, these are sometimes prototypes, so sometimes they will change. So it looks like, I just want to see from us. Oh, here we go, table of contents. So we have an introduction to tarot, the reading of tarot, then we have Lenormand, runes, oracle, and then how to create your hybrid deck. Oh, let's just skip back here. Rune Dice, oh my goodness. Okay. Using a mega deck. The Green Glyphs glossary includes the extra section that isn't covered in the smaller guides. My intention in creating this collection was to create a giant hybrid deck that bridges 4 different methods of divination. If you own all 4, you can combine them into a mega oracle deck. Using pieces. Pull specific cards that you gravitate towards, combine all the cards. Yeah, so there's different ways that you could approach this. Very, very cool. So yeah, so we just have a guidebook for all 4 of them together to be able to access. The High Priest, it has some keywords on each of them for the tarot. Then it's talking about Lenormand and going into the Lenormand deck and how to do that. Oh, there's a bookmark. But what I'm the most excited about, to be completely honest, the one that I am most excited about is this right here. The let's see, yes, the Oracle. This is reading the Oracle. Okay, does this start? Where does it start? Here we go. Welcome to the Oracle. This is what I'm really excited about, because this is like an old style fortune telling deck, and that's the one I am the most, I mean, I'm excited about all of them, but that's the one I'm most excited about. But again, as per usual, and I need to close it, it's just I couldn't read when it was so dim. This is just beautiful. Again, everything he makes is beautiful, so we'll talk about specifics. This is just a fangirl unbox the thing just to see. This is the Rune Deck, so this is an Alder Futhark deck. Again, love, it's all the green glyphs, so you've got all of these symbols, and now the runes are popping out of it. So I love that. So okay, so they do each separately come with a booklet, and then all of it, is in one. Oh, look at these cool dice. Now, I'll be honest, I love this kind of thing just to have, but I'll be honest, for reading, I don't love runic dice. And that's just because they're so cool. I love dice. Like I love everything to do with dice, but there's no, these dice, all these symbols, depending on how he does it. Let's see, so this is an 8-sided die. None of these symbols can come up together, right? They can never show up together in one reading because they're all on the same dice. I wonder, just out of curiosity, let's find. But what I am going to do with this, and again, everybody's different. A lot of people love runic dice, so don't take my word for, I just love the feel of these. These are, I'm just looking for Fehu. Where are you, Fehu? There's Othala, Manas, Dagas, Lagus. Alright. What I'm wondering is, there's Berkana. What I'm curious, here we go, let's just use this one. I'm wondering if these are the 8s, because that's kind of cool. So here we have Tiwas, here we have Berkana, here we have Lagus, which is in the same 8, here we have Othala in the same 8, here we have Manas in the same 8, here you have, okay, so I do like this. Here we have Ing or Ingwas, and here we have Awas. So I do, okay, I will say I like this. So these are, there are, in the Elderfruth arc, there are 3 sets of 8s. And so each of these represents one of the 8s, right? So this represents Tyr's 8, one will represent Hagalah's 8, and one will have Freya's 8 in it. So I do actually kind of like that just for a reading of the 8s, because then you can take in the meaning of the 8s and say, for example, you have Lagus, which is, oops, I don't know what that was, so we'll just leave it, doesn't matter, it's not a reading. But say, you know, we have Lagus out of Tyr's 8, and so Tyr's 8 is about justice and self-sacrifice, and so, you know, then we can interpret Lagus through that one, and so on and so forth with the 8s. So that I do kind of like. I think for a very specific type of reading, that's actually quite smart, and you could, I could see myself utilizing that for a quick 3 of rune toss. Otherwise, I was thinking I'll use it for one of my D&D characters, but I like the idea of playing with that. Okay, so then we have the cards. So what we have on the cards is the symbol, nice and big, and then we have the title, and then we have an image that's relating to that. So we have Fehu for the first one. Obviously, we have Uruz, we have Thurzas, we have Anzus, we have Raido, we have Kenaz. You know, so I'll go. I mean, obviously, I'm going to go through all these. Oh, that's beautiful. That's gorgeous. Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. I love that. Yeah, I mean, I love his art. Like, there's, oh, that is absolutely gorgeous. Okay, again, we're going to come back to this and actually do a walkthrough of these, but this is just me peeking at it. So, yes, love it, love it. I'm more of a caster than a card person in terms of runes or OMs, but I do use cards now and again, so I do love it. Okay, so this one is the Green Glyphs Lenormand. Now this one I have, has your book. I already have this one, but what I was excited about with this, hey, the gilding's gorgeous. What I was excited about with this is the paper. I'm assuming, and we'll get into it more when we go, but I'm assuming that this is the new cardstock. And the other cardstock was beautiful, but I will say it was a little harder to shuffle. I think all of us have learned the lesson. We begged for that gorgeous matte stock. Like, we begged for it. We love it. But in the end, in terms of daily reading, it's a little harder to shuffle. And so I would have purchased this because of that, because I do love this deck, but it's harder to shuffle. So this is, I'm super stoked about this. Then we have some Lady and the Gentleman. We have the Person and the Purse. So basically like a Person 1 and a Person 2. Option, and then we have an extra card with the albatross. If you don't want to use the cross, you can use the albatross, which I actually quite like. I'm fine with the traditional imagery of the cross, but I do, if you're going to swap one, sometimes people swap for bridges. I never quite understood that, but I do think that this albatross would work really good for an extra card. Anyways, I have a walkthrough of this already. What is in the, let's go here. So we have the gentleman and the lady in sort of a traditional garb. And then we have the lady and the gentleman looking more modern. And then we have sort of person and person two. So this would be similar to how I would do it, which is more a querent and a significant regardless of gender. You can still pull out gender if you want to, but it's much more gender neutral. So these would be the cards that I would add into the cards. But I love them all. I actually really like those. So anyways, that's the Lenormand. I don't know if anything's changed. I'll get into all that once I do the actual review. So then the next one, I'm going to save that one for last because I'm most excited about that. This is a whole new tarot deck by James Eads. When I got inklings that this was coming out, like through Instagram and stuff, I did not think there would be a tarot deck, to be honest, but I am super excited. I use the Prismavisions all the time with Cosmovisions in my past life readings. I do like how in this set, which is, you know, such a small, condensed, sort of get at the business of it, I like that we just have sort of a synopsis, and then we've got our keywords, and it just kind of stays with, I feel like, the vibe of the green glyphs. So here, oh, okay. So this is a tarot deck. Again, we're gonna walk through this, and I didn't point it out, but I will in a big walkthrough. They all have the same back, so that you could like take. I could see like taking all of the. You could just take the majors out and put it together with the Oracle deck. You could take the majors and the quartz and put it in with, you know, you could really play with making your own deck. But this is all in the same sort of artistic, it's actually quite gorgeous. I love the energy of the Empress compared to the energy of the King. Even though I really love ruling Empresses, I do energetically, I like that contrast. So I just want to get to the, oh, I like the Chariot. Oh, I love the Strength. Okay, I don't want to go through it because we're going to do that. But what I wanted to do is see what the minors, so they're still scenic. I love that Three of Wands. Yeah, so they're still scenic, but they're just sparser because it's in the style of the green glyphs. Oh, I love that Two of Cups. Okay, I don't want to look at that too much. That is, I'm more excited about this than I thought I was going to be because, again, you get a lot of tarot decks, but I'm excited to see that. But this is the one I was super stoked to see because I love fortune-telling style decks. That's my jam. You know, it's the closest, I think, to this playing card route. So here, again, you have your booklet. We have Oracle Poems. What is that? When you're in somewhat of a... Oh, to make poems out of it. Okay. Decoding the cards. Oh, so it's telling you what you get. You get the basic symbol because it is the Glyphs deck. All of these are. You have what some keywords are. You have the reversal. All of them you get similar things. 7 candles light in a cold, dark place. Light up a cold, dark place. Ancient glyphs are carved into the wax of the thicker candles as an attempt to ward off evil. These candles were lit with great intention for inner healing. Now that they have shown themselves to you, it is up to you to follow through. Okay, I love his little write-ups. I'm so excited about this one. So this is a symbol deck. You know, you take the concept, these were hugely popular, and, you know, fortune-telling style decks were so popular in the late 1700s and all throughout the 1800s. This, I didn't look at the other ones, but this one has got gilding on the cards itself. Look at that, acorns. Broken glass, that's traditional and some folk style. Oh, that is gorgeous. Cat, chair, chimes. I have chimes hanging out. Cuckoo clock, crystal ball, demons. Oh, I love those. Dinosaur, door, drain. Oh, now this is end key. Is that a type of a mushroom? I'll have to look that up. An etching press, feather, fig. See all the gold there? Is this the only one? Oh, look, Runic Dice. His Runic Dice are in there. Stone tablet. Oh, I love the swing set. Yes, talisman. Yes, oh, yes to the willow tree. Wisteria. Yesterday's coffee. And sort of a runic, you know, like a glyph, a green glyph cube or something. So I think there's like 50 in here, which I'm thrilled with. Continuing your journey. Oh, portal. I hope by now you have a taste of what the green glyphs can be like. If you have obtained the other green glyphs decks in the collection, you may want to attempt to combine them together. There are no... is there a portal card? I love that because we have all the concepts from the portal oracle. Sorry, I'm just gonna see. Oh, I love the ghost. Oh, I love the hummingbirds. Yes, yes, yes. What's that? The lost parrot. Oh. Okay, I'm super stoked. Is there a portal card? Oh, playing cards. Yes, yes, yeah. Yep, that is stunning. Oh, I'm super excited about this one. Super excited about this one. Obviously, we're going to go through them all. And then this is the book for all of it. And then here, look what's in the inside. Again, I'm going to go through all this better. This is just me. Okay, this is going to be a long walkthrough, but that's just a opening. Okay, I'm going to put it in my, this is the one I'm most excited about. I'm actually secondly excited now much more about the Green Glyphs Tarot than I expected to be. And I'm excited about obviously the runes, and then that's only because I've had this deck. But that's the order that I would put them in as of right now. Oh my goodness. Okay, so now that you've seen that super excited look at everything, I just want to make sure that I hit on some points to be able to wrap up this as a set kind of thing, and why you may want them all together and or you may want them separately. But some of the key factors here about the set as a whole, whether you buy it individually or not. The point of this is that James Eads created this set for the purpose or the intention of them being used together. So he made the backs of each card deck similar so that you wouldn't draw the cards on bias. I'm going to lay them out and see where we can see that. It has made it to either put it together as a ginormous deck. I can't see myself doing that, but you know, you do you. Or to mix and match to make a perfect hybrid deck. Now, let's kind of carefully dump these out. Here is the inside of the box set, and here we have the back, the Green Glyphs collection, set of 4 divination decks and hardcover glossary created by James R. Eads. Beautiful box. I will be putting this in it on my shelf of James Eads things. The book, which you saw me unbox it, but the book has all of the pamphlets just as the information that you get in them individually, but it also has an extra section. That's the Oracle. I wanted to come back to that because I'm super stoked about that one. But it does have an extra section of putting it all together, and some ideas of using a mega deck, using pieces, combining the cards, reading it when it's a mega deck like this and how you might approach it, and a 9-card and a Celtic Cross example of a reading. But otherwise, this is all of the decks that all of the booklets that you get here in one space. So obviously this is handy if you are mixing it together so that you don't have to sort of grab, okay, which deck is this from, grab it. You're still going to have to kind of know. It's just a beautiful bound book. Just like we got the Prismavisions and Cosmovisions together in a bound deck, this is giving us that for all of the Green Glyphs collection. It's obviously stunning. Everything he does is stunning. I don't know what else to tell you about that, other than yes, it's stunning. Now I'm going to pause for a second and pull all the decks out. Okay, so here are all the decks out, and you can see that the backs are very similar. I thought at some point when I probably was unboxing that they had the same backs, but they're actually slightly different. So if you look at, this is the Lenormand Deck. So every one of these decks, the title is numbered with the name, and then it shows the actual glyph, so the green glyph for it, and so that's on all the cards. And so we can see that these are sort of the glyphs of the Lenormand deck on the back. The Rune deck has the glyphs of the runes, which, you know, are the runes. There's some different glyphs here, and then there's the actual runes here. So if you look on the bottoms, yes, we have it here, but we also have it here because all the decks, all the decks have that glyph at the bottom, so that holds to that where is the title, and then this is not numbered, but it is has that glyph at the bottom, and so on the back we can see that. Nice thing is, again, we'll talk about these when I do them individually. This has, as you saw in the unboxing, this is it for each of the 8s, the Hemdall's 8, the Tyr's 8, and the Freya's 8. So they're all in there together. And then this is the fortune telling deck, which again is not numbered. It has the title and it has the glyph for each of it at the bottom. And so the back of it are the glyphs, very similar to the Lenormand, but it's the glyphs from that deck. And then the same thing with the tarot. We have the tarot, which has the number, because tarot is a numbered system, and then it has the title, and then it has the green glyph for each one of the cards. And so obviously on the back, and you can see there's a sword over there. I'm sure we'll have a cup and a wand. There's the Fool symbol. So there's the symbol there. Excuse me. So they are not exactly the same. I would say these 3 decks are very similar in the sense that you really wouldn't see those if they were mixed together. The runes stand out a little bit more because there's less of the runes. But other than that, these 3 mixed together would be very difficult to tell the difference, certainly not while you're shuffling it, right? So that's what we have here. And then the intention is to mix these. Now, I don't know, you know, this is my thoughts of what I would do. Number one, I would 100% see myself mixing. This is already mixed up because I was using it in my Lenormand class today. But I could most definitely see mixing the Lenormand symbols with this and having one, because this is a big, you know, this would be one big fortune-telling style deck. You would have 86 card fortune-telling style deck. So I could 100% see mixing those together, right? Yep, 100%. The other thing you could do is do something similar to what D'Este. So the system of D'Este is the court system. It has the court cards, which are people cards, right? And it has it with a system of expanded fortune-telling style deck. So you could put, say, the court cards with this fortune-telling style deck and make a kind of similar energy to what D'Este is doing. So you'd have the 16 people, you would have the fortune-telling cards that are added in there. You could also, if you wanted, maybe do the major arcana, the court people, and a fortune-telling style deck. That would be a kind of cool combination there. Would I mix this with one of these, the whole tarot deck? Probably not. It's, for me, tarot, it functions beautifully because it's already its system, right? It's the courts, it's the numbers, it's the majors, and the hierarchy and the numbering system, and all of that is a cohesive system. So I am not probably personally likely to mix this with something else. I might, again, take the courts out, or something like take the numbers out, take the minors out, mix it in, possibly something like that. But I could see myself taking the quartz, putting it with that, having sort of an elemental system mixed with this, because that's something I do already with Deste, and that would be pretty cool. You could also put Lenormand together with the fortune-telling deck with the quartz system of the miners and have a mix like that. You could also do, I could see doing the majors, Lenormand, and the fortune-telling style deck, or the majors and the fortune-telling style deck. I could see that mix too. So obviously it's something fun. I don't know that I would put the runes in. For me, this is just me personally, I don't think I would put the runes in, but I might then encompass this with it, right? Have my blended deck, do my roll, and kind of take them in the position of, you know, tiers, position in the position of the eights, so one from each of the eights, and throw that in with whatever reading I was doing. That's probably the way that I would mix the runes in with this. It's just such a different style. Runes to me is such a different style of reading that that's probably how I would do it. Now, could you move the runes in with the fortune-telling style deck and mix it all together? Sure. Obviously, you can do whatever you want. You can pull it all together. It would be horrible to shuffle, but you could pull it all together into one giant deck as well. It's kind of one of those things, and this is one of the reasons that I love James Eads so much, is that with his deck and his art, stunning, powerful. So this is not reducing the power, it is enhancing the power for me. You can see the person, James Eads. I don't know him, I don't claim to be his friend or anything like that, but I have extensively used his things, and I feel like in his work you can see the spirit of play, which is something that is sometimes missing from divination, right? That there is a spirit of play about divination, that a person would pick up a playing card deck or some sticks or some bones or whatever they're going to grab around them to put it on the table, that is willing to play a game and then do some divination like the original Lenormand deck. There is a spirit of play that should be present in divination, I believe. And with James Eads' things, what I tend to respond to is that spirit of play that wants to pull it all in together and play in a big old pile of cards. That's what I really feel really in all of his work, as powerful as his other things are, but most especially in the Green Glyphs series, there is a quirkiness to the art style that is expressed in, and the just pulling this all together that really inhabits the power of the spirit of play. I hope that makes sense. That's how I see this what he has put out here for us, is that powerful spirit of play. So again, this has been just a look at the set as a whole, right? And you might get, you know, these two pieces because you really want to have this together. You may don't care about that stuff and you just want his cool tarot deck. You may be interested in runes and just want a rune deck and dice by him. You know, that's obviously how you decide to mix and match, is up to each person. But I just wanted to, in this video, highlight sort of the set as a whole, and then I will do a walkthrough, and I will link below in the description box the individual walkthrough. So if there's something that you are interested in seeing as a whole, I've already done a walkthrough of the Green Glyphs Lenormand, so I will put that below. I will say that the cardstock, well, I might just do a fresh one. Yeah, I'll probably just do a fresh one. Either way, I will have links to all of the individual walkthroughs in the description box below if there's something that you are particularly interested in. And then I will, of course, have a link to the Kickstarter and his website, because if you're watching this later, after the Kickstarter, you can go to, obviously, his website and purchase whatever you want to purchase from there. Okay, thank you for letting me play and dabble in this with you. I hope, whether you're interested in one or nothing, it has been interesting to see the mind of an artist who clearly loves divination, and again is clearly inhabiting that power of play. And I hope that if nothing else, it has given you a peek into that.